The program and portfolio workout is all about how you manage shed loads of stuff in your organisation, whether it's for changing the organisation or running what many people term as business as usual. The table of contents for the book is divided into 6 parts, the first looking at the challenges we face, then we look at projects, portfolios and programs, finally the sort of practices which are vital for success, and then how you can put that into practice and make it a reality in your organisation. Let's look at these in a little more detail. So part 1 covers the issues that we often come across, running out of resources, people giving conflicting direction. So it concentrates on these and helps you set out governance top to bottom, side to side, so that you can have clarity on where you're taking your organisation and that everyone else has that clarity as well. A vital part of this, we look at sponsorship. They set the tone for how your organisation runs. It's them that stop top-down failure. We also look at how the context is important. No matter where you're working in this sort of mesh of different activities, the context matters and your influence on everyone else. It's all part of a whole system. Parts 2, 3 and 4 look then in more detail of how do we manage a project, a programme, a portfolio. And I give you just enough on project management for you to understand what your project sponsors and what your project managers need to succeed. After all, you don't want to, by the way you run things, hinder them. We want the whole organisation to succeed. We then look at portfolio management in some detail. How do you select the winners? How do you set the direction that you need to go? How do you make changes at that sort of scale and that sort of level? And then programs. Sometimes the changes you need to make are too large to run as a single project. So how do you then corral things together so you can keep a big chunk moving through this sea of change that is your organisation? I tend to think that they're just ways of managing things. If I look at a piece of work, I don't think, is it a project or is it a program? I think, is it better to manage it as a project or as a program? And this is the type of thinking I take you through in these sections. Part 5 of the book looks at some of those critical practices. Yes, many of them have been covered in the project workout, like risks and issues management, but here we take it at a different level. We take it holistically, bundling all these things together. What's the totality of the risk that we have in our organisation that comes from all these risks bubbling around in all of these chunks of change that we're putting in place? I also cover the management of change. After all, this is probably one of the most difficult areas, moving people, whether it's your employees or your customers or your citizens, to behave or act in a certain way. And so we cover the different techniques you can use there. Most organisations also work with organisations, so contracts is looked at. And finally, I give you a way of thinking that you can choose the type of solution that works for everybody involved. So quality is not just about controlling stuff, it's about how you think holistically about the solutions you have to your business opportunities and your business problems. Part 6, this is about putting it in place, making this reality. And it's what are the tools you need to set up for success? What are sort of processes? What are the roles and structures needed? And of course, what standards and methods might you choose? You've got the program workout and the portfolio workout, but there's lots of other materials out there which I can point you at, which will help you build the sort of environment to manage this as a totality and then put it into practice. Because remember, what you're doing here is changing the way you run your organisation. And so your senior stakeholders are vital that people to take with you along the way. After all, business agility affects everybody, and this is a superb way of getting business agility. The rewards are there for those who really want to take them. So, the program portfolio workout with its companion, the project workout, together they give you lots of techniques, approaches for business agility for your organisation, which will, I think, bring you a lot of success in the future.